Hey everyone, well, we're here to talk about a movie that, like many this past year, has been delayed for a long while. But it's finally here, and it came just in time for Christmas. Let's talk about Wonder Woman 1984. So before we get into this movie, just real quick, I want to tell you how I feel about the previous Wonder Woman. And, oh, guys, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. It was what I wanted the DCEU to be from the very beginning. Just enjoyable, great hero, nice action, really inspiring at times. However, I will admit, like many others, I felt it kind of slid in the third act. Third act needed some work, special effects, some of the themes and stuff like that. But overall, I still really enjoyed Wonder Woman. And if you haven't seen it, you should go see it because it really is a fun, great superhero film. But for now, let's get on to the new one. So as the title suggests, this movie takes place in 1984, many decades after World War One. Diana is now used to society. She works at the Smithsonian. She makes this new friend named Barbara, played by Kristen Wiig. But mysteriously one night, Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, returns out of nowhere. But unfortunately for Wonder Woman, Steve's return marks the beginning of something really nasty. So let's just get into it with our two main characters. Wonder Woman, once again played by Gal Gadot, and Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine. Once again, Gal Gadot is really great as Wonder Woman. I think she really nails the role. She's heroic. She can be very inspiring at times. And despite the fact that she's running around in heels, she pulls it off pretty well. And of course, the chemistry between her and Chris Pine, it's good. And then once again, you kind of really believe that these people care and love for each other. It's very believable. They do a great job working together. I really dig it. One of the things that does bother me about this is, I won't go into spoilers, I'm going to have that as a separate video, is that Steve's return, the way he is resurrected, brings with it a moral dilemma that they never really address in the film. And it kind of, when you think about it, it kind of casts a shadow on their relationship. And the fact that the movie never really addresses it is somewhat bothersome. Let's talk about Kristen Wiig, who plays Barbara, aka Cheetah. Unfortunately, I really didn't care for this character. Kristen Wiig does fine in it. All the actors in the movie do fine. They all do good jobs, but it's really the character. She's kind of a stereotypical 80s movie nerd, has no friends, is awkward. There's really not much to her character, except for one moment where they show us that she's a genuinely good person. But beyond that, yeah, not much else to say. And her journey to becoming a villain is kind of generic, empty, lame. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could say that she was a really cool villain, but she isn't. And as far as the special effects work, when she finally becomes Cheetah, it's okay, I guess. I'm not sure because we only see her at nighttime when she's Cheetah, and well, it's hard to tell whether or not the special effects are good at night, which was probably purposeful. This is something that they do in big Hollywood movies sometimes. If they don't have a lot of confidence in the CGI, they'll set it at night because less light is on the CGI figure. The less details come out, and therefore it can cover up any things that are wrong with it. So yeah, unfortunately, kind of a lame character, and I don't know, the Cheetah special effects are fine, I guess. Let's move on to Pedro Pascal playing Maxwell Lord. Unlike Cheetah, I actually like this villain for the most part. He gets a little cheesy at times, which is something that happens a lot in this movie, and we'll get to that. He has these moments where he's doing his TV personality, like catchphrases and stuff like that, and Pedro is really hamming it up. He's been hamming it up in the good way, like it feels good. But then when he's just himself, away from the public, you get to see who he really is. And I do like him as a villain because, one, like I said, I think Pedro Pascal is doing a good job with the character, acting-wise. But also, he's not full-blown evil. He's just this man that is so desperate to not be a loser that he doesn't see the damage he's causing through his villainous plan. He doesn't realize what he's doing is just that horrible. He's so caught up in his mission, that he just doesn't see it. That part I really liked about him. So yes, cheetah villain, no good. Rich guy villain, pretty good. Oh, and I've been hearing this a lot lately. A lot of people are saying that this character is possibly Trump. I guess so. There's a few elements that you can connect between the two characters. It's definitely not a one-on-one. It's not like a blatant copy, which is good. I hate that. Whether it's politicians or celebrities, whenever you have a character that's supposed to be a real-life person or based on them, and it's just a blatant copy, it's not. And I guess it could be Trump. I mean, 80s businessman, greed, all that stuff. But I don't think it's really that much. Maybe you see it more, maybe you don't. Let's talk about the cheese in this film. This is a word I've been seeing a lot online. People are using it in other reviews and comments and stuff. This movie is very cheesy at moments. And that'll either work for you or it won't. It's cheesy because it's set in the 80s and they're trying to have that cheesy 80s superhero movie vibe, which it's definitely trying to do. The problem that you might have with that is none of that was really in the previous film. There was moments of comedy, levity, that kind of stuff. But the fact that the previous film wasn't really cheesy makes it feel disconnected from this one. In fact, you might think, oh, did they get a different director for this film? Well, no, they didn't. It's still Patty Jenkins. Of course they brought it back to direct, but it sometimes it feels like they got a different director, and it's kind of noticeable. So either you're going to love that cheesiness of it, or you're going to not dig it, because once again, there really wasn't any of that in the previous film. The action in this movie is fine at times. The cheese factor is in a one or two scenes, so that can mess with it. There's a few moments of action where they're having some real close-up shots, like real near the face, and I get what they're trying to do there. They're trying to make you feel like you're right there in the fight with Wonder Woman, but it kind of blocks us from seeing what's really going on in the fight at times. Other moments of the battle are very acrobatic and aerial in nature. Wonder Woman does a lot of jumping, like leaping over like 10 to 20 blocks of a city, that kind of stuff, by using her lasso to like pull herself up far into the air. I guess she's fully developed her powers at this point, because we didn't see her do that in the last film. The most we saw was probably Batman v Superman during the fight with Doomsday, where she like charged at Doomsday through the air and she went like 100 feet. But this is like much farther distances than we ever saw in the previous films. So it's kind of cool seeing her like go through the air. What is weird is when she comes back down, whether it's like she just went like 50 feet or a mile or something. When she comes down, she lands, she looks like she's gliding down, and it looks unnatural. It looks like she's not landing with any weight. Like she's not coming down with a superhero landing. Like she just kind of glides down for no reason. So that's kind of weird. Another problem with this film is the length. It's coming up on 2.5 hours, and honestly, it's too long. They needed to shave 15, 20 minutes off. There's always something going on in the film, and yet the pacing is slow. It was like they wanted things always happening to, keep the audience, invested in, like, oh, it's exciting, but it's still slow paced. It doesn't really work, and they needed to shorten the length on this film. So I just listed some negatives of the film, but I do want to end things on a positive, and that is the ending. I really enjoyed the ending of the film, the way Wonder Woman was able to save the day, as she does. There's still like a lot of battling going on, but the final win, the thing that got her victory, was unique and a very Wonder Woman way of saving the day. So I enjoyed it. I felt like this scene was that Patty Jenkins and the writers of the film listened to the criticisms of the previous one, where a lot of people complained that it was just a big, gnarly CGI battle, and it kind of like hurt what the film was going towards. It felt like with this one, they listened to that and they were like, okay, we're still going to give the action in the battle that you expect from a Wonder Woman movie, but the way she finally gains victory, Wonder Woman victory. I really dug it. Alright guys, so Wonder Woman 1984, how would I rate it? Like I said, this movie, it's not horrible. It's got good stuff in it, good acting, nice character stuff. The cheese, once again, depending on how you feel about it. For me, the cheese didn't work. Maybe the cheese worked for you, but how would I rate this? I will give it I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I want to give it a little higher. I want to go to like 7, but the more I think about the problems of the film, the more they weigh it down. It's not a horrible film. It's not bad. I know a lot of people are hating on it right now, and trust me, there's parts of this movie I really don't like. But I'm not feeling hate. I'm feeling disappointment. I am, because, once again, I really liked the previous Wonder Woman movie. I was really looking forward to this, and it just didn't live up, at least to my expectations. So, yeah, 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. All right, everyone, those are my thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984. Of course, let me know down in the comments section how you feel about the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you like, kind of back and forth on it? Whatever, just let me know about it. And if you do like DCEU content, my previous video was on Man of Steel. I'll have the link up on the screen in just a moment for you. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button. I just started this channel, and I'm really hoping to grow it over the next year. So, until next time, take it easy.